So let's talk about what it takes to build a truly great team. We're going to dig into some amazing research from Google and pull out some real practical lessons you can start using pretty much immediately.
But first, let me ask you something. Have you ever made a mistake at work? I mean, a big one, where your stomach just drops and you think, that's it, I'm definitely getting fired for this. You know that feeling, right? Just replaying it over and over in your head, trying to figure out how you're even going to bring it up.
Well, that exact feeling, that's where our story kicks off. We're going to look at what seemed like a totally career-ending mistake, a massive misprint, and see what it can teach all of us about leadership and about building a team that actually works.
Okay, so picture this. We're at a super busy record label in India. The energy is high, the pressure is on.
A team there is working on the album cover for a brand new artist. I mean, this is it, right? Their big debut. It's the first thing the world is going to see, so every single detail has to be perfect.
And when you're launching a new artist, there is one thing, one tiny detail that you absolutely, positively cannot, under any circumstances, get wrong, and that is the artist's name.
Yep, you guessed it. The person in charge of the design misspelled the artist's name. And the worst part, they didn't catch it until after thousands of CDs had already been printed with the typo. Just imagine the scale of that mistake.
So yeah, you'd think that's game over, right? Pink slip time. But what happened next was, well, it was completely unexpected. And it holds this incredible lesson in what real leadership looks like.
When the designer finally confessed what happened, bracing for the worst, their manager's response wasn't anger. It was just, all right, let's go fix it. These things happen. Let's talk about what broke in our process so we can make sure this never happens again. That's it. No shouting, no blame, just how do we fix this and how do we learn from it?
And wow, does that moment just perfectly capture the difference between a team that's struggling and one that's thriving. You've probably been in both environments. The ineffective ones feel tense, people are quiet, nobody wants to admit they're having a problem. But on an effective team, people talk, they ask for help, they give feedback, and the whole focus shifts from pointing fingers to just learning. It's a total game changer. See, that manager's reaction wasn't just some random act of kindness. It actually demonstrates a core principle of great management, and it leads us right into Google's framework for building these kinds of effective teams, which really comes down to 3 key pillars. So here's the deal. Building this kind of team isn't magic. It's something you can do intentionally. As a manager, you can make this happen by focusing on 3 things. Number 1, develop real one-on-one relationships. Number 2, actively encourage open communication. And number 3, which we just saw in action, create a culture of learning, not blame. Let's break those down.
First up, relationships. And look, this isn't about awkward, forced team-building exercises. It's way simpler than that. It's about getting to know people as, people, not just as their job titles. A great way to start is just by sharing a quick personal story yourself, maybe about your family or a hike you went on. When you open up a little, it gives other people permission to do the same. The whole goal is just to build an environment of trust.
Okay, pillar number 2, open communication. Here's the thing. As a leader, you have to kickstart this yourself. You have to actively invite your team into the conversation and show them that you really do value different opinions, especially the ones that might challenge your own. A simple way to do this? Ask questions, and always thank people for their input. Okay, this slide is gold because it literally gives you the words to say. After you present something, instead of just saying, "Any questions?" which usually gets you crickets, try saying this. "Now that you've heard my ideas, let's make it better. What are your thoughts? What did I miss?" That tiny shift in language is huge. It changes the entire dynamic from a lecture into a real collaboration.
And that brings us to the 3rd pillar, which honestly might be the most powerful one. It takes us right back to our misprinted CD story. It's all about moving from a culture of blame to a culture of learning, especially when things go wrong.
I absolutely love this example, so check this out. One team was terrified of making mistakes, so they did something kind of silly but brilliant. They started talking about what didn't work in their meetings, and they gave their mistakes a funny name, Flippity Flops. Just the name alone takes the sting out of it, right? It made it normal, even a little fun to talk about what went wrong, which is so crucial for innovation.
Because that's the magic trick, right? The second you take blame off the table, everything changes. Mistakes stop being these scary personal failures that people try to hide. Instead, they just become what they really are. Opportunities for the whole team to learn something new, to fix a process, and to get better together. That's how you really make progress.
So there you have it, the 3 pillars: build relationships, promote open communication, and create a culture of learning. But okay, what do you do with this information, like, today?
Here's a super simple, actionable challenge for you. In your very next team meeting, when you share an idea, don't just leave it hanging there. Pause, look at your team, and ask them, what could we do to make this idea better? It's such a small change in words, but it can open the door to a massive change in how your team works together. Give it a try. What do you think you might discover?